Hello and welcome back. Today's video, I will be ranking all of my blush. I have 19 different blushes here to rank. If you are interested, I have ranked bronzers, lipstick, eyeshadow palettes, highlighters. I have a whole playlist. And yeah, so you can check that out if you're interested, and let's get into this ranking. Number 19 in last place is sadly this MAC Mariah Carey blush in You've Got Me Feeling. As you can tell, it is a very bright, cool toned pink. I really enjoy the MAC formula. However, this color is not flattering on me. It's just way too cool toned and clashes with my yellow undertones. So I wear it sometimes. However, it just doesn't look that great on me. Full disclosure, I bought this because I last minute wanted something from the MAC and Mariah Carey collection because I love Mariah Carey and I love this packaging. This was the only thing I could find, therefore I bought it. I know that is not a very good reason to buy something, and therefore it's my least favorite blush. I will be mentioning some blush palettes in this video as well, and number 18 is this palette. This is the Becca Blushed with Light. And here it is. This is really pretty, but I have talked about this on my channel before. The colors in here are Wisteria, Songbird, and Snapdragon. I'm pretty sure those are all permanent Becca blushes, and she's had a lot of these in other palettes as well. The reason I'm ranking this so low is because, first of all, this one, Songbird, is super splotchy and difficult to blend. I don't like that one at all. These two have a much better formula, however, they're just not that unique to my collection. Definitely this one, Wisteria, is definitely my favorite. It's kind of a mauve color, which I really like mauve blush. However, the other two are just not that great. This was expensive. I kind of regret getting it. Definitely fell into the beautiful packaging hype. What are you gonna do? Clearly trying to learn from my mistakes here, but yeah, this is not a favorite. I will say the rest of these I do really enjoy. It really was only those two that I couldn't stand to live without, but anyway, number 17 is this Urban Decay blush in Bittersweet. And I think a lot of people have talked about this on YouTube because it's such a unique color. I mean, it really is a purple, and you can put it lightly on the face though, but it looks purple. It's gorgeous, and honestly, I should wear this more. It's not that I dislike it, but it's just a bit limiting because, you know, I think this would not look very good with like a warm eyeshadow look. I think you have to pair this with a cooler tone look or a colorful look, but then I worry if I have colorful eyeshadow and a colorful blush, it's too much. I don't know. Honestly, I'm overthinking it. This is a beautiful color and I really do need to wear it more, but sadly, I just do not reach for it very much. On to number 16 is this Tarte blush palette in Blush Bliss. This was one of their limited edition holiday things. They release one of these almost every year, although actually this year they didn't. They released those little like trio blushes, but anyway, Tarte releases blush on like a daily basis, but this is beautiful. I really have nothing against it. The colors are really nice. You've got, you know, like a more shimmery orange, some pinky mauves, and more of like an orangey neutral. Honestly, I do really like this. Again, I don't reach for it that often, and I think it's because I don't reach for blush palettes. That is something that I have learned. I really need to stop buying blush palettes because somehow I just tend to reach for individual blushes more often. However, I do like this, and I know a lot of people say that the original Tarte blushes are a different formula than they put in their holiday releases, and I do think that is true because I will be talking about a permanent Tarte blush later in this video. And I do think that the formula is different. Honestly, these limited edition ones are softer and, in my personal opinion, easier to blend. And I don't have a problem with lasting power on them, but they do seem to be a different formula. Number 15 is this Anastasia blush trio in Cocktail Party. I don't have anything against this either. I just think the colors, they're not my favorite out of my collection. This one is a pretty warm brown, which I can use as a blush, but it's a bit too intense, so I think this would look better on someone with darker skin. I could use it as a bronzer, but I think for me it has just a bit too much orange. This reddish coral is really pretty. Again, it's just not a color I reach for a lot. This cool tone pink, I will say I like it better than the Mariah Carey one. Somehow it's not as unflattering on me, but again, not my favorite colors. My favorite blush colors are more neutrals and mauves. So this is a really soft buttery formula. These are really pigmented, so you have to be quite careful with that. It's just the color selection is not my favorite. I bought this at a Marshall's for $7, so you know, pretty good deal. And it is good quality, just not my favorite colors. Okay, then we have this blush. This is Wet n Wild Pearlescent Pink. I actually do really enjoy this. I have major pan on it. This was in my Finish 13 by Halloween Project Pan, if you did not see that. And it is really good. I actually don't have anything against it, but it's a color that you see all over and over, kind of a shimmery peach color, but it is gorgeous, and this is the blush I am wearing today. I don't love shimmery blush. However, the shimmers in this, they kind of fall away. They don't really show up on the face. You know, it's quite long lasting. Yeah, I like this. I just feel like I have this color a lot in my collection. Then we have this Marc Jacobs, and this is a pricey little number. I think these are $42. This is Flesh and Fantasy. It's basically a stripe of a very light peach and then more of a neutral. So together, it's a pretty subtle neutral peach. I enjoy this. I don't think I have anything against it, but it is quite subtle. On my skin tone, I have to really build this up. So color-wise, I like it, but you know, it's not the most pigmented thing in the world. But yeah, very buttery, very easy to blend. It lasts well, but I feel like I have to put this on a lot. I think if you have lighter skin or you enjoy a very subtle blush, you know, I do think you would like this, but I prefer a more intense blush look, which is why this is not my favorite. The formula is really nice, but I wouldn't say it's a $42 nice. For number 12, I want to talk about the blushes in this Hourglass palette. Now, these are the only Hourglass blushes I have. I had tried another one before, but I ended up returning it because I did not really like it. So these two here in this palette, I did a whole review on this palette, and I did mention that these may look different in the pan, but on the face, on my skin tone, they look exactly the same. They're just kind of pinks. I don't know. Even though this looks red, it's really not. It's kind of strange. But anyway, this is a really nice formula. However, it is incredibly subtle. And again, I said that I like intense blush, but honestly, for like an everyday look, this is probably what I should be wearing because I do like it. There's some shimmer in it, but it doesn't really show up. I would call these more satin. I don't know. I'm not really wowed by them, honestly. They're my least favorite thing in this palette. I much prefer the highlighter and the finishing powders, and honestly, I even like the bronzer more than these. So again, there's nothing wrong with them, but they're very subtle. They're pretty much the same color. I don't know. I know people really, really love the Hourglass blushes, but for me, their standout products are their finishing powder and highlighters. That's just, you know, what I think, but these are nice and I do enjoy them, but again, just not my favorite. Then we have this Becca, Chloe, and Malika palette. This is the Chloe palette. I got this on major sale at Ulta, and I really, really enjoy this. This has two blushes here. This one's more of like a coral. This one's a bit more orange. And these are shimmery, but not this much shimmer shows up on the face. It looks much more shimmery in this swatch. However, this is really similar to the Hourglass formula. I think this palette is one of the few things I've seen that I think is quite similar to that formula. However, it is more pigmented. It's not as crazy pigmented as like a Becca blush, but it's definitely more pigmented, so I do prefer these. And also they're more warm toned again, which is what I prefer. The Hourglass blushes are a bit more cool toned. So yeah, just like a personal preference, I do enjoy these more than I enjoy the Hourglass ones. Okay, we are in the top 10. Number 10 is this Milani blush in Tea Rose. And this blush, I think these are about $9. It's gorgeous. I really like it. So soft, so buttery. As you can tell, it's like a light pinky mauve neutral. It's matte to satin, I would say. This blends out so easily. Absolutely gorgeous. So glad that I got this. I did not get this for a very long time, even though they've been out for a while, just because I was like, oh, I don't need another blush, but This is a lot better than a lot of high-end blushes I've tried, and it is fantastic. Number 9 is the oldest makeup product in my collection. This is from a limited edition MAC collection, the Liberty of London, and I'm pretty sure this collection came out in, I think, like 2009 or 2010. So yeah, this is almost 10 years old, but what are you gonna do? I still like it. This color is called Prim and Proper. It is a mauve neutral. It's really not the most exciting thing in the world, but I personally really enjoy the MAC formula. I know that I said I didn't really like that Mariah Carey one, but that's more the color that I didn't like. I think the MAC formula is fantastic. It is so long lasting, although I don't have a lot of problems with my blush fading. It usually lasts pretty well throughout the day. There's just something about this color that I really, really like, and I feel like it looks good on my skin tone. So yeah, this thing is super old, but it still works. Number 8, this one really impressed me. This is the e.l.f. blush in Always Cheeky. These are $6. And wow, talk about a really soft and buttery formula. This is one of those products that I would say blends itself. Such an easy to blend product. This color is really pretty. It's kind of a more peachy neutral. As you can see, there's a theme here of the colors that I like. But yeah, this really impressed me. I've had this one for not too long. I got it recently in my Ulta Points haul. But yeah, it is fantastic. Honestly, with such good drugstore blushes like this and the Milani, I really don't need any of these higher end products, but I will say that when I first got into makeup like a good 10 years ago, every drugstore blush I tried faded on me so fast. But nowadays, every blush I try is long lasting. I just think the quality and the formulas have really, really improved. So way back in the day, that's why I got really into MAC blushes, because they were the only ones I could find that would actually last on my face throughout the day. But that just doesn't seem to be a problem anymore because overall formulas have improved. So anyway, this is really good. Number 7 is this Burt's Bees blush in Toasted Cinnamon. This is $15, which is a bit more expensive for the drugstore. However, I think this is a really unique color. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's essentially a bronzer. It's very orangey and yellow actually, so I don't think this would look that good on me as a bronzer all over my face, but I absolutely love this. It's really pigmented though, so I have to use a very light hand, but this looks really good with warm toned looks. And yeah, it's very orangey yellow. It's a bit got a satinness to it. It's not completely matte, but anyway, this is, like I said, expensive for drugstore, but really high quality, and I really, really like it. Number 6 is this Essence blush in Satin Love. I talked about this in a recent Shop My Stash. This is only $3. It's so good. I don't even know how that's possible. It blends like a dream. I mean, it's, you know, again, peachy neutral. Nothing all that revolutionary. As you can see, I've got some repetitive colors here, but what are you gonna do? This is really nice though. If you don't have a lot of blush, you don't wanna spend a lot of money, honestly, just get an Essence blush because these are amazing. Number 5 is sadly a product that has been discontinued, but I really, really like it. This is the Anastasia blush kit. This one is called Radiant. I would say this is the same formula as that trio that I talked about. I just prefer these colors in here. So there's an orange, a pink. This one again is a cool tone pink, but it's somehow more flattering on me. These shimmers really don't show up on the face. Then you've got a mauve, and then you've got more of a darker neutral. These blend themselves, but these are really pigmented, so you have to be really careful, but they're so buttery, they're so soft, and I really, really like this color selection. Honestly, if I just had this and didn't have anything else, I would have all the colors that I need. So yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite products in my whole makeup collection. Number 4 is this Ofra blush in Mai Tai. And it's a really pretty color. This is more of an orangey coral. I think this is really unique. I don't really have any colors that look exactly like this. It's pretty bright. And yeah, there kind of looks almost like, you know, like an orange sherbet type ice cream. It's such a pretty color. This I feel like looks really good on my skin tone because I have warm tones. This looks amazing with warm tone looks, but honestly, it's not so out there that, like, I feel like that Burt's Bees one would look kind of weird with like a really colorful look, but this one I feel like I could wear with a colorful look or a neutral look. The only thing I don't think this would look good with like a very cool toned eye look, but yeah, this is so amazing. And I do feel like this is one of the more unique colors I have. And again, the formula is really good. All right, number 3 is one of the most popular YouTube blushes. That is Tarte Exposed. I popped mine out of the compact because those are magnetic, by the way. Full disclosure on this, I don't love this formula as far as actually working with it, but once it's on the face, it looks so good, lasts all day. You can see there's hard pan on this and it just gets so hard panned. So I have to like really scrape my brush on there to get any pigment on it. Honestly, it takes a lot to get this to show up, but when it does, I love it. It's kind of just the perfect neutral blush. I don't really know why when you look at it, it looks so blah. And yeah, the swatch, you know, there's some pink in it, but it's more of like a pinky neutral. I don't know. This is just one of those things that when I put it on the face, I'm like, wow, this looks so good. But yeah, like I said, formula, unfortunately, hard pans really easily. I've heard a ton of other people say that, so I know I'm not the only one. That's unfortunate, but this color is so unique. That's why I keep it around. Okay, number 2 is this Too Faced blush in Baby Love. And this is going to be a project pan spoiler if you saw my pie project pan, but I did hit pan on it recently, which is exciting. I've had this thing for about 3 years and I have used it a lot. I really like it. Again, the color I would say is kind of similar to Tarte Exposed, but it's a lot more pigmented. So overall, I think the formula is better. It may not look like it in the pan, but it is a bit more warm toned than Tarte Exposed. Here, let me show you. Yeah, so you can tell it's definitely a lot more warm toned. Tarte Exposed is a lot more cool toned, but honestly, I think they both look really good. And the reason I like these type of blushes so much is that I can wear them pretty much with any eyeshadow look. Cool tones, bright colors, whatever, it works. This formula I just think is a lot better than the Tarte one, and I mean, it does get some points for adorable Polly Pocket looking packaging as well. So yeah, I really like it. Right, the time has come, my number 1 blush. This is MAC Melba. I love this thing so much. Like I said, I really enjoy the MAC formula. I think it is one of the best out there. This, again, there's a theme here of colors I like. It's repetitive, I know, but again, look at that. Pinky neutral. However, these swatches, I will say, are really not looking like how they do on the face. Blush, I don't think swatches like, you know, eyeshadow does per se. I just think it looks different on your face because blush, you're not, well, at least most people are not putting on as much blush as you are like an eyeshadow where you're making it completely opaque. Blush tends to be a bit more sheared out. Therefore, I've noticed that blush looks different on every person because your natural skin tone is breaking through that. So anyway, that's what I've noticed. Yeah, this is a lot more orangey than Tarte Exposed, but I definitely would not call this an orange blush. But yeah, I just really like it. It works well with my skin tone, looks good with any eye look. Honestly, if I could just keep one blush, I would just keep this and it would work with anything I wanted to do. So that is it for this video. I have ranked all of my blushes. I know I have a lot of repetitive colors, but I do like kind of more neutral mauve-y colors just because I can wear them with everything. I think sometimes I get overwhelmed if I put on like a more intense eye look and then I'm worried that I don't want to put on too crazy of a blush. But anyway, I do love blush. I love all the ones I have except for maybe like the last 2. But anyway, that is it for this video. Let us know, what is your favorite blush? Do you have a favorite color? Do you have a favorite formula? And if you're interested, you can check out my ranking makeup playlist, and thank you for watching.